Well, 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 we meet again, huh? Alright guys, in this video we're going to be doing some examples simplifying rational expressions. And the name of this game is quite simple. You factor, 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 then you cancel, cancel, cancel. This concept is important because there are going to be so many different types of problems that can be thrown at you that there's no way for me to do an example of every type that you might encounter. Every problem is going to be slightly different in its own right. The important thing is to keep the process in mind. Factor everything you can that's in the problem, look at what you have left after you factor, and then cancel that stuff. All right, now a little disclaimer before we move on. I'm going to be moving somewhat quickly in this video only because I believe that you have a firm grasp of factoring. And based on what I've seen in class, I think that's true. The majority of people have mastered factoring, and if you haven't, you're going to get a lot of practice over the next couple of weeks because we're going to be doing factoring like crazy in order to obtain other answers. All right, so what I mean by that is we are not just factoring just for the sake of factoring. We're factoring in order to simplify or solve more complex problems. All right, let's go with our first example, and let's see what shakes loose. Now, I decided not to type them out this time. I thought I would write them out with you guys, so this way as I'm writing it, you're writing it, we're kind of doing it together. So here's our first example, and the directions are simple. Simplify. And here goes our problem. Our first problem is this: 2x plus 6 over, big fraction bar, 15x squared plus 57x plus 36. All right, now that looks, oh my God, look at those numbers, 57 in there, holy cow. All right, let's just take it in steps. Let's worry about either the upstairs or the downstairs first. The upstairs is going to factor how? Well, notice that it's not quadratic. It has an exponent of 1, not quadratic. So we can just try to pull something out of it. And what is our GCF of the top? GCF of the top is 2. Now, if I take that 2 out, what's going to be left? X plus 3, right? Because if I were to distribute this 2 back through, 2 times x, bam, 2x, 2 times 3, woohoo, 6. All right. Now, the downstairs is a little bit more complicated. Why? A couple of reasons. The numbers are kind of nasty, and it's not linear. It's something other than linear. It's quadratic, because our highest exponent on the variable is 2. It's very tempting to start by saying, oh, it's addressed quadratic. I'll multiply front end times back end. Yeah! No, don't do that. You're going to make yourself crazy doing that. 15 times 36 is awfully big. It's going to be better to see if you say to yourself, hey, wait a second, maybe this bottom stuff has a GCF. And it does. There's a number that we can take out of all three of these things. We can't take any letters out, right? Because the first piece has some letters, the middle piece has some letters, specifically one letter, x to the first, and the last thing has no letters. So they have no letters in common, but we can take a number out. What number is common to 15, 57, and 36? Think about that for a moment. I'm going to do a better job of writing GCF. While you're thinking about that, what is the biggest number that goes into 15, 57, and 36? Oh, second period's over, third period starting. Hope I can get this done before fourth hour comes in. All right, the GCF is 3. That's the biggest number that goes into all three numbers. So if we take that 3 out, what are we going to be left with? 5x squared plus, how many times does 3 go into 57? Are you thinking 19? I'm thinking the same thing. See, that we got a mind meld right there. Plus, if I take out 3 from 36, I'm going to be left with 12. Now look at what that did. That made our numbers inside the parentheses a bit smaller. They're going to be a little bit more manageable to work with, but now we need to factor this denominator. Here's how we're going to do this video, because if I factor everything step by step and show you all that, this video is going to go on forever. And I started this video by saying I'm assuming you know how to factor. So the way we're going to do this video is like this. I'm going to ask you to pause the video. I want you to factor the downstairs. Then I want you to hit play and see if the way you factored it matches the way that I factored it. Pause the video right now. Please try it on your own. You're doing yourself some harm if you just kind of watch the video and copy stuff instead of trying this out on your own. All right? Pause the video and then hit play after you're ready to see the answer. Okay guys, check it. On the left side of your screen, I've factored the 5x squared plus 19x plus 12. I've shown my work, and the factors that I get are 5x plus 4 and x plus 3. Now, we're going to transfer those factors to replace this stuff that was in our parentheses. Why is that useful? What is that going to do for us? It's like, Mr. Miller, what's the big deal? How does that help us? Well, let's see. Let's first replace our factors. Replace the 5x squared plus 19x plus 12 with its factors. And now let's see what happens. Do we have anything that's in common between the upstairs and the downstairs? Please say yes. Please say yes. The answer is yes. What's common? What are the common factors? We have x plus 3, right? There's an x plus 3 in the upstairs. There's an x plus 3 in the downstairs. Shazam! That's all that cancels. Everything that is left is part of our answer. We have 2 in the upstairs. We have 3 and 5x plus 4 in the downstairs. Finished. That's it. Beautiful. All right. Now, next example, I'm just going to write it for you. I want you to pause the video. You work it out. You factor the stuff. You cancel the stuff. And then hit play and check your answer, okay? Catch you on the flip side. Let's do it. So here's going to go your next example to work out. I'm going to write it for you. And then you push pause. Work it out on your own paper. And try it out. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I was momentarily distracted. There was a knock at the door. All right, I forgot what I said. I know I was writing the problem for you, and I wanted you to try it out on your own. We'll just go with that. I almost want to set up my own recording studio here and seclude myself instead of doing this in my classroom. All right, that's supposed to be an A. All right, pause the video, factor, 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 cancel, cancel, cancel. When you push play next, what you're going to see will be all the work and the final answer. All right, let's do this. Okay, guys, check it. Here's how I did the problem. I started off by factoring the upstairs. What can we take out of 2a and 10? We can take out 2, right? 2's the GCF. That factors pretty easily. Now let's check out the downstairs. The downstairs is a little messier. The first thing I did before I said to myself, oh, I know, I'll multiply front end times back end. No, don't do that. Make it easier on yourself. See if there's stuff you can take out first before you just start multiplying front end times back end. What I was able to take out of the downstairs was, let me write this on the side, a GCF of 4a. All right, see that over here? I factored out a 4a, and look at what that does for me. When I take that 4a out, I go from something that wasn't even quadratic, because this is to the third power, and it's dressed because of the 4 in front of the leading thing, the leading term. And what I'm getting now, when I take that 4 out, is I get something that's naked. I get a naked quadratic, and that's going to be very easy to factor. Now, I want to say that it won't always be the case that when you take the GCF out, you'll get something that's naked, right? Just like take a look at the first example we did. We took out a GCF in the downstairs, but we didn't get something that was naked. But here you look out, That's naked. So I needed two numbers that multiply to 10 but add to 7. Shazam, 5 and 2. Bada bing, bada boom. A squared breaks up as A and A. 5 and 2 drop down. And what I've done is I've taken those two factors and I've replaced it with the quadratic that was in the downstairs. After that, I take a step back. Hey, what stuff cancels? Oh, I know. 2 and 4 will reduce as 1 over 2. We can cancel those, a factor of 2 out between 2 and 4. And then the factor a plus 5 cancels out in the upstairs and in the downstairs. So what are we left with? We're left with 1 in the upstairs. Everything goes bye-bye. But that's not 0. We're left with 1. And why is that? Because when you cancel a plus 5 and a plus 5, what you're really saying is a plus 5 divided by a plus 5 is 1 over 1. So what do we have on the top? We have 1 times 1. And what's 1 times 1? It's 1. Okay? Now, the downstairs, what's left? I'm left with a, and I'm left with a factor of a plus 2. So we write those side by side, and we are finished. All right, I think you guys are doing great. We're going to do maybe 2 more examples and then we'll call this video done. Okay, next video, let's do the same thing, guys. Pause it, factor, 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 cancel, 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 and then check your answer. I want to say something really quick. I wish I would have said it earlier. If you're still struggling with factoring, go back to the video where I did a review of factoring. Ask me for help. Factoring is going to be very important. All right, let's go to the next example. All right, here's our example 3. And the directions are still the same, simplify, even though I'm not going to take the time to write that word every time. Directions are going to be the same. Let's simplify 5x squared plus 13x plus 6 over 9x cubed plus 24x squared plus 12x. All right, let's do this. We can do this. We can handle this. Pause the video, factor, 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 cancel, cancel, cancel. Hit play, check your work against mine. I'm telling you right now, if you're just copying and you're not really trying this out on your own first, you are hurting yourself. You are shooting yourself in the foot. I really don't want to see you struggling with this the next couple of weeks. So please, pause the video, take some time out, try it on your own. When you hit play, you'll see all the work and the answer, and I'll quickly go through it. All right? See you in a bit. All right. Have a look-see at what I got for the final answer. The final answer I got was 5x over 3x times the quantity 3x plus 2. Now, let's circle back. The top, the GCF was 1. No help there. Oh well, too bad, so sad. Below, I've shown how to factor it. Front end times back end, find the numbers that multiply to 30, add to 13, 10 and 3, table time, factor out, replace that 5x squared business in the upstairs with the factors that we got from the table, x plus 2, 5x plus 3. Beautiful. Now, the downstairs. Oh, what is happening here? Not very pretty, is it? It looks like we can take out 3x. That's the GCF of all 3 pieces. I take 3x out. That leaves me with 3x squared plus 8x plus 4. That's quadratic. It's dressed. I have to do my, front end times back end now. I get 12. Find 2 numbers that multiply to 12, but add to the middle bun. The middle bun is 8. That's 6 and 2. Shazam. Dump that into the table. Get your factors out of there, your GCFs. And once we have that factored, when I say that, I'm referring to this quadratic, 3x squared plus 8x plus 4. It factors as 3x plus 2, x plus 2. We take a step back. What cancels out? Common factor of x plus 2. Boom! I'm a beast! X plus 2 cancels out. Everything else that's left is part of my answer. 5x plus 3 in the top. 3x over, 5x plus 3 in the top. 3x times the quantity 3x plus 2 in the downstairs. All right, guys, good job. I think that's enough examples for now because we're going to do more in class tomorrow. What I want you to do right now is to go into Math Excel and access PCQ number 3 after you show me your notes and you get points for that. I will then type in the password for you to access PCQ3 so you can practice some of this on your own, get some feedback. All right, good job. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.